When news breaks, it breaks fast. You can't wait to know what's happening. You need to know now. You need CNN2. CNN2 is a lot of news when you don't have a lot of time. A fast-paced, lively look at your fast-moving world, at sports, business, and weather. The 24-hour CNN2. Up-to-the-minute news every minute of the day. From Turner Broadcasting System.
See the premiere of CNN2 New Year's Eve at 11:45 on Superstation WTBS.
Here, at least on the East Coast, and at this point we'd like to welcome our viewers of the Superstation WTBS and the first viewers watching on Cable News Network 2. This is a special evening for those of us here at CNN and WTBS. We are not only ushering in a new year, we're also inaugurating a revolutionary new service for cable viewers, CNN 2. During the next few minutes, we'll be telling you more about CNN 2, and at midnight, we'll bring you the first broadcast from Turner Broadcasting's newest news facility. But first, let's go live to Times Square in New York.
And we'll be checking back with him in just a few minutes. But right now, we'd like to tell you something about Turner Broadcasting's newest service, Cable News Network 2. In just a few minutes, CNN2 will premiere from its brand new studio facility here in Atlanta. And Cable News Network's Lou Waters now gives us a tour.
The experts said Cable News Network couldn't be done. Cable News Network has proven itself to viewers, cable systems, and the experts, our competition in the national news media.
Hello, I'm Lou Waters, anchorman for Cable News Network. Ted Turner decided he wanted to give you a choice for 24-hour television news, Cable News Network for in-depth coverage, and when you don't have a lot of time, a new, faster-paced CNN2, a second news network from Turner Broadcasting System. And once again, the experts said it couldn't be done. Well, this is it. We've built an enormous news complex, hired over 175 journalists, and bought the latest news technology to launch CNN2, the ultimate news service for you, the busy person. By joining us for the premiere of CNN2 just a few moments from now, you'll be part of television history. This preview look at CNN2 and the first half-hour news program, starting at midnight, is being shared by over 20 million cable households on both the Superstation and the Cable News Network. This is the control room, the nerve center of CNN2. It's not on the air yet, but starting at midnight, this control board will be live with news every minute of every day. And here's the man that can tell you more about what you'll see, Ted Kavanaugh, Vice President of CNN2.
What you're going to see is the fastest presentation in the history of network news. We've brought together some top professionals, anchormen, producers, writers, directors from all over America, and we think we put together an organization that can put on this kind of presentation. You're busy, and we're busy doing the kind of show that we think fits in with your busy day. I think the people who work here recognize the fact that they're doing a very difficult task. They've been asked to accomplish something never accomplished before. It's difficult, it's wearing, it's tiring, but hopefully all the effort will be worth it. In a few minutes, we'll see the fruits of their labor, and they'll have their own footnote in history.
Here's where the writers and the editors will be working to keep you instantly updated. CNN2 will be brought to you live and continuously updated with highly visual coverage. To tell you more, here's senior producer Paul Amos.
The person that watches CNN2 is going to be able to tune in and just in a few minutes' time, not only find out everything that's going on in the world, but will also be transported by television and the magic of satellites and modern technology to the places where the news is happening. If someone tunes into CNN2, in half an hour they'll get the entire world delivered to their living room. The way we're about to put on a newscast has never been done before. And it's a courageous and very avant-garde step in television news. And I think that as soon as a person watches one CNN2 newscast, the other newscasts that they're used to watching will never be the same again.
This is our satellite master control that lets CNN2 span the globe instantly. The news happens fast, and CNN2 moves even faster with a truly international news organization.
CNN2 is your 24-hour update channel for news from Poland. The cable news network covers Europe with bureaus and reporters in London and Rome, reporting throughout the continent. And CNN2 has bureaus in both Cairo and Jerusalem to bring you 24-hour updates on the Mideast situation. And CNN2's Tokyo Bureau covers the news from the Far East, China, and Japan. CNN2 will take you around the world and back again every 30 minutes of every day. Every story is backed by the professionalism and resources that Turner Broadcasting is noted for.
CNN2 is the ultimate news service for the busy person, and here's where it all comes together, where in a few minutes, Denise LeClaire and Chuck Roberts will launch CNN2 to a preview audience of 20 million cable homes. Here are a few of the anchor people who will be bringing you 24 hours of news on CNN2.
Dan Hackle, a veteran foreign correspondent, comes to CNN2 from the Cable News Network. Chuck Roberts brings years of anchor experience to CNN2 from across the nation. Denise LeClaire from Cable News Network has also anchored the news in Nashville and Providence. Peter Ford from Australia's 7 Network brings international news credentials to CNN2. Sasha Fu from Cable News Network has news experience in Boston, Philadelphia, and Tulsa. Patricia Harvey joins us from WNEM-TV in Michigan. Jay Young has anchored the news in Baton Rouge. Bobby Batista joined CNN2 after years of news anchor experience in Raleigh. Rick Brown joined CNN2 from Canada with anchor, reporting, and producing credentials. And Jim Wilkerson from the Cable News Network brings years of anchor experience from Denver and Atlanta.
If your world moves fast, in a few moments you'll see a news service that moves even faster. CNN2 moves at the speed of fast-breaking stories everywhere. CNN2 with the top news stories, special business features, weather, sports, unique feature reports. At midnight, you'll have a choice for 24-hour television news, Cable News Network for all the news in depth, and the new CNN2, the ultimate news service for busy people. It's a lot of news when you don't have a lot of time. Yes, Ted Turner proved the experts were wrong when he dedicated the news channel 19 months ago.
To act upon one's convictions while others wait, to create a positive force in a world where cynics abound, to provide information to people when it wasn't available before, to offer those who want it a choice. For the American people whose thirst for understanding and a better life has made this venture possible. For the cable industry whose pioneering spirit caused this great step forward in communications, I dedicate the news channel for America, the Cable News Network.
This New Year's Eve is truly a time for celebration for the Turner Broadcasting System. 1981 has been a year of unprecedented growth for Superstation WTBS, and a year of history making growth for the Cable News Network. Now tonight, we celebrate with you the premiere of the nation's second 24-hour television news network, CNN2. I'm glad all of you in the 20 million cable preview homes could join us for this exciting moment in the history of communications. In a world of conflict and change, America deserves and demands a second news network. And in a few moments, we'll share together the birth of cable television's new era. I'd also like to personally remind you that if you don't have CNN2 on your cable system and are watching this special preview on the Superstation or the Cable News Network, I urge you to contact your cable operator and tell him you want to have a choice for 24-hour television news. The cable CNN2 on your cable system and are watching this special preview on the Superstation or the Cable News Network, I urge you to contact your cable operator and tell him you want to have a choice for 24-hour television news. The Cable News Network and CNN2. Tonight, as your family celebrate the new year, I'd like to thank you again for sharing with us our celebration of the premiere of CNN2. Happy New Year from all of us at the Turner Broadcasting System.
And in just a few moments, you'll be able to see the fruits of our labor as CNN2 debuts. But first, the countdown continues as 1981 draws to a close.
1981 draws to a close for Cable News Network and CNN2. This is James Allen Miklashevsky in Times Square wishing you a Happy New Year.
It's New Year's Day on the East Coast, 9 p.m. out west. I'm Denise LeClaire.
And I'm Chuck Roberts on CNN2. Our two top stories, the ushering in of 1982 in Times Square.
And the birth of America's second 24-hour all-news television network.
In New York City, the kissing and hugging continue.
While some 900 miles to the south, a fireworks display in front of Turner Broadcasting's Atlanta headquarters heralds in the new year and the premiere of CNN2.
Save yourself! Hey, that was a good spot over there.
Hey, that's where I was going to stand.
Now with more on the festivities in Times Square, let's go back again live to CNN correspondent James Allen Miklashevsky in Times Square.
We're back here in Times Square. As you can see, the crowd has no intentions of leaving, even though 1982 is already several minutes old. The fireworks are beginning to go off. Some of the crowd is beginning to make its way down the side street. But as New York police will tell you, it's going to take several minutes before the crowd of some 500,000 clears out of Times Square. All we can say is that it's been a great night so far here at Times Square. A very exuberant but ruly crowd. Everybody's enjoyed themselves. And as I say, as you can see, the crowd here has no intention of leaving or letting up their celebration. We'll be back to you in just a little bit to keep you up to date on the celebration in Times Square. But in the meantime, back to Atlanta.
You're in tune with the world. This is CNN2.
Hello again and Happy New Year. In the news, Poland's military regime will force the unemployed into compulsory labor in an effort to put Poland's economy back on its feet. Poland's official head of state, Henryk Jablonski, issued a New Year's message warning all Poles to cooperate with the military regime and avoid civil war. The message was similar to the Christmas address of Poland's Prime Minister General, Wojciech Jaruzelski, but a top Solidarity leader issued a plea from his hideout calling on Polish soldiers and police to resist the martial law government.
A Polish fishing boat motored out of Vancouver Harbor Thursday without 12 defected seamen. 3 other ships remain anchored in the Canadian harbor while their crews debate whether to refute for the strike for fear of reprisals when they return home. So far, 63 sailors have defected to Canada and 27 more have requested permission to stay in Canada.
A former Air Force lieutenant is now in control of the small West African nation of Ghana. Jerry Rawlings took control of that nation in a military coup on Thursday. David Smith has details. We hope to have that a little bit later. Secret Service agents have arrested a man they claim has threatened the president. The arrest was made in Denver, but the Secret Service office there won't disclose the nature of the threats against Mr. Reagan. They say only the 32-year-old James Michael Welch was arrested for allegedly making verbal threats concerning the president. Welch is described as an unemployed X-ray technician. He was arrested at his parents' Denver home without incident.
The Guardian Angels are calling for an investigation into the shooting death of one of its members by a Newark, New Jersey police officer Wednesday night. CNN's Jeannie Mose has more on that story.
With his red jacket and his hat, he held his hands up, blew his whistle, and said, "I'm a guardian angel." And he got shot.
That's how an eyewitness to the shooting described it. Frankie Melvin was shot in the chest at this intersection in front of a high-crime housing project in Newark. Melvin was clearly outfitted in Guardian Angel's garb, complete with red beret. Just about everyone milling around the crime scene seemed to know and like the victim.
Frankie is a guardian angel. He's good for the community. He helped all the children here in the neighborhood.
Newark's police director says Officer Milton Medina shot Frankie Melvin from the roof of this building, shot him because the officer saw Melvin headed towards his partner down below. Halt, the police officer says he said, and when Melvin didn't, he shot him. Other guardian angels say differently.
He pulled his jacket open to show his shirt, and the officer shot him in the chest with no questions asked.
Frankie Melvin was shot standing right here, but faced the other way. Eyewitnesses say that there's no way a policeman standing on that roof behind me couldn't tell that Frankie was dressed as a guardian angel, especially since he was standing under a streetlight when he was shot. There are plenty of unanswered questions, and the Angels are calling for an investigation by New Jersey's Attorney General because they say the Newark Police Department is too close to the controversy to be fair. Jeannie Mo's Cable News Network, Newark, New Jersey.
Walter Polapchek's sister says Walter told her he would rather die than go back to Russia. Walter is the 14-year-old Soviet boy who ran away from his parents, who were living in Chicago at the time. He refused to return to the Soviet Union with them, but an Illinois appeals court ruled Wednesday that Walter should be returned to his parents. Jeff Flock has more on that.
This is the only thing Walter Polapchek had to say Thursday. The 14-year-old Soviet boy has made few public statements since he gained world attention by refusing to return with his parents to their native Soviet Ukraine. The reason Walter has not talked is that most of the time he has been involved in court battles.
I think it would be highly improper for me to instruct Walter to answer any questions at this time. I think that Walter is a very brave and courageous young man in taking the position that he has. I think he is really a symbol today.